Smash Squatch. Number 6, Stevie Kicks. And number 624, Sweet Tea. They're coached by Regulate Her, Jinkies, and Physical Contact.
Neither have I.
We're going to rock it.
It's going well so far.
All right, the game is about to begin here in just a few short moments. Is there anybody here that this is your first roller derby game? All right, then we will make sure to explain the rules as we get going. And our first jam has begun. The jammers are fighting to get out of the pack. And we have our lead jammer. The Derby Darlins take the lead as lead jammer. And the jam is called off.
Oh, it's not on.
All right, well, that was a pretty short first jam of roller derby, so we'll line up to do it again. We've got number 1310, Steph Infection on the line for Angel City.
For those of you new to roller derby, the players with the stars on their helmets are known as the jammer, and they're the only ones on the track that can score points. They score points by pushing their way through the pack, and for each opposing skater that they pass, they get 1 point. Their goal is to get around the pack as many times as possible.
The first jammer through the pack gets a special designation, lead jammer, which not only means they're the first one out of the pack to score, but also gives them the right to end the jam whenever they want by tapping their hips. Which we see Steph Infection doing right there,
Yes,
grabbing a couple points and calling it off.
They did their best to call it off before the other jammer could score any points. The longest that a jam can go is 2 minutes, otherwise known as hell.
You know, I'm not a fan of 2-minute jams, but you can score a lot of points in 2 minutes.
You can indeed.
All right. Oh, sneaky up the outside line. Ventura grabbing lead jammer. That's number 420. Purple Haze. Big pile up there in turn 1, and Purple Haze is through for a full 4 points.
And the Road Raiders jammer is still pushing, trying to get their initial pass.
That Ventura wall is really shutting down the Angel jammer. Great hit by number 56, Smash Squatch.
And the Derby Darlins jammer gets around again. There'll be another 4 points.
Feel like we're going to be seeing those purple shorts making a lot of laps this game
Yes,
for Purple Haze. And we have had a star pass pretty early in the game, everybody. That means that the Angel City jammer passed that star helmet cover and the rights to score points as a jammer to the pivot for Angel City, who now takes over jammer status.
But the Angel City pivot is still stuck in the pack. Purple Haze makes another pass, racking up a lot of points.
Pretty grueling defense we're seeing from this Ventura wall so far.
Yeah, that Derby Darlin wall is strong, and Purple Haze makes it around for another pass, another 4 points.
We'll see if she can sneak a couple more in before the end of the jam.
That Ventura wall refuses to break. And the jam is over.
All right, a 20-point jam.
20-point jam is, that's a strong way to start this game.
Remember about a minute ago when we said you can score a lot of points in 2 minutes?
Yes.
I think we just saw that right there.
20 is a lot of points. And the Road Raiders push the jammer out of bounds. Both walls are holding strong. Jammers are pushing hard, but they're just not able to get through.
And we've got our second penalty of the game, I think, on number 222, the Bexorcist for Angel City.
And the Derby Darlins jammer breaks through the pack and takes lead. Road Raiders jammer is still stuck in the pack, fighting hard against that Derby Darlins wall. And both jammers are now free of the pack.
Now it's a race to get back to the pack, see who can score
And
some
the Derby
points.
Darlins jammer calls it off.
Oh, yeah, there we go.
So for those of you new to roller derby, often the goal of the jammer is to call off the game before the other jammer can score any points. So if you're lead and you see that the other jammer has broken through the pack on their initial pass and can now score points, you often call off the jam before they actually reach the pack.
Both of our teams are starting down one blocker with one in the penalty box each to start this jam. But the Bexorcist is coming out of the box first and will be joining that Angel City wall.
And the Derby Darlins take lead jammer status once again, but Flat Track Monster is right on their heels. And it's a race to the pack. The pack's moving fast. And the Derby Darlins jammer tries to get as many points as they can before a Flat Track Monster reaches the pack and calls it off.
All right, we've got both teams back at full strength blockers. The penalty box is empty to start this jam, and we'll see who we've got out first. Seeing those purple shorts again, which means we've got Purple Haze on the line for
Purple
Ventura.
Haze back on the track.
Try and see
both
if we
jammers
repeat.
hit hard. Purple Haze breaks through right away and gets that lead jammer status.
But Steph Infection is just about a half lap behind on her heels.
Purple Haze coming in hot to the wall. And Steph Infection and Purple Haze calls it off.
Only 1 point this time.
Only 1 point that jam.
Little different than last time.
Yeah, a few less points.
Yeah. For those of you new to roller derby, the jammer can score points by passing the hips of the other player. So even though Purple Haze got into the mix there and was right around a bunch of the other Angel City blockers, she must have only passed one set of blocker hips to get that 1 point.
All right, we're about to start another jam here, and the whistle blows.
We've got number 2-4, Mighty Mouse for Ventura up again.
And ACD takes lead jammer status.
That's 6:03, Martha Squeaks squeaking out of there real quick for her first lead jammer of the game.
And the Derby Darlins jammer is fighting against that Road Rager wall, trying to break through. The Derby Darlins put up a strong wall for Squeaks.
Some great offense by Ventura, number 1717.
Both jammers are fighting hard to try to break through. The Derby Darlins jammer is stuck behind a particularly nasty tripod. And Squeaks breaks through to score 4 points. The Derby Darlins jammer is still stuck behind the Road Raiders wall.
But it looks like we've got a star pass for Ventura. That star cover passing over to the pivot.
And Squeaks calls off the jam.
After 4 more points.
So just to make it extra clear for everyone new to roller derby, the jammer can pass their pivot, can pass their cover, their jammer cover, to the pivot, and then the pivot becomes the jammer.
Pretty low penalty game so far that we're seeing.
It definitely is. Both teams are keeping it very clean. It's the season opener, so everyone's really got the rules fresh in their heads.
Beginning of the season, knowing the rules is pretty impressive. I'm proud of everybody out there.
And the Derby Darlins jammer takes lead, and the ACD jammer is right on their heels. Both jammers coming in hot on turn 1. The pack is moving fast.
Flat track
we got some jammer on jammer action.
Whoa.
And the Derby Darlins jammer calls off the jam. That was some epic action.
That was some great action. Flat track monster went for sweet tea there, managed to get in front and force that call off. So 0-0 jam for a lot of work that both of them had to do there.
We've got an empty penalty box going into this jam. Each team's at full strength.
Seems like we've got our combo again matchup of jammers of Purple Haze versus Steph Infection, with Steph Infection getting lead, but Purple Haze sneaking out in the meantime.
But Steph Infection hot on their heels. The pack is moving fast and the jam is called off.
That's going to be an interesting matchup for us to continue to watch
really
this
is.
game. They seem like a pretty good even pair to test each other out on the track. We've got 1 blocker in the box for Angel City, so they'll start down a blocker, see if that changes up any of this first plays that we'll see off the line.
The whistle blows and both jammers hit the pack hard. They're fighting hard against those walls, both walls holding strong. Both of the jammers are stuck at the back of the pack. The Derby Darlin jammers pushing further forward. Oh, and a penalty has been called. Angel City's now down 2 blockers.
Still playing great defense out there.
Yeah, 2 blockers against that 1 jammer is not easy. And the Derby Darlins jammer breaks through the pack and takes lead status.
That was number 1110, Joe Mama, providing a great last line of defense to kill some time, but then eventually that Ventura jammer slipped out.
And the ACD jammer is still fighting, trying to get through the wall for their initial pass. The Derby Darlins jammer is up against 2 strong ACD blockers. Oh, and they sneak past on the outside line. Scoring another 4 points for Derby Darlins. And the ACD jammer gets their initial pass. Derby Darlins jammer is approaching the pack. And they hit the pack and quit it. They call off the jam.
1 more point to cap off a pretty successful jam there for Ventura. And the Angel City bench decides to take a timeout. Seems like a smart time right now.
During this timeout, I'd like to remind everybody to check out the vendors at Vendor Village. We've got Rude Chicks, Vaz Collective, Angel, Create Meow Repeat, and Rocky's Boutique. Go and support our wonderful vendors.
All right, remember to look for your raffle tickets. The raffle will be drawn at the halftime of the second game. You can get them available at the concession stand. $1 for 1 ticket, $5 for 6 tickets, or you can find a really tall skater, and for $20, you can have their height's worth of raffle tickets.
That's a lot of raffle tickets if you pick the right skater. Is that the inches or is that feet?
You know, I think we just hold
I'm
the raffle
assuming
tickets
inches.
up to them and see how many stack up
Oh,
against them.
I
So,
get it. That makes more sense. All right, we're back. Both jammers pushing hard, trying to get through the pack, and ACD jammer breaks through the pack and takes lead status.
This is one of the... We're seeing Steph Infection not against Purple Haze for the first time in a while.
Ooh, that was a hard
Huge
hit
on the inside line.
The Derby Darlins jammer is still fighting and gets through on their initial pass.
That sweet tea breaking out of the pack, and Steph's got about a half a lap to make a decision, score their points, and call it off.
And that's 4 more points.
Ventura has their pivot in the penalty box to start this jam, so we'll have Angel City with a pack advantage to start. And this will be us seeing Purple Haze out on the track again, this time against Flat Track Monster.
We're changing up the pairings a little bit. Both jammers hit the pack hard. Flat Track Monster pushes through and takes lead jammer status, but Purple Haze is hot on their heels. The pack is moving fast. Walls forming up as the jammers come around for their scoring passes. Flat Track Monster weaves their way through the path and takes 4 points.
Looks like we're going to keep going, try and kill some of this time of our blockers in the penalty box. So Flat Track Monster is going to keep going for some more points, even though Ventura is also scoring.
Ooh, Ventura puts up a strong wall, knocks Flat Track Monster down. Purple Haze has now gotten in front of Flat Track Monster.
Oh, and we have our first jammer penalty of the game, or a power jam, as we like to call it.
And the jam is called off by Flat Track Monster.
That was a pretty smart strategy that paid off for Angel City there. They ran long to try and kill the time for the blockers in the penalty box, and ended up getting a penalty on Purple Haze to be able to start this next jam in a power jam.
Starting this next jam in a power jam is definitely going to put ACD in a really good position.
And Ventura clearly wants to talk about their strategy for how to handle that. So we're going to take our second time out of the half. All right, first 15 minutes of the game. How are we feeling so far?
It's been a really strong opening to the game. Pretty epic way to start the season.
I think so too. We're seeing
It's been a high-scoring game so far.
Great defense from both teams, but some jammers that are really getting through on those lines and have some great bursts to get out of the pack pretty quickly.
And we've definitely gotten some really hard hits as well. These teams are not messing around tonight. I think both teams want to start the season off on the right foot.
Yeah, playing early season roller derby is often really exciting. Angel City only did tryouts about 2 weeks ago. So these are some newly formed teams ready to lay it all out on the track and really show what they've got this season.
Yeah, they're all learning how to work together, learning how to be a good team, and seeing what they've got.
Looks like we're going to have Martha Squeaks lining up to start this power jam for Angel City, along with the cohort of blockers. And Ventura has not only their jammer in the penalty box, but also 1 blocker. So they will start as a cohort of 3 blockers to try and prevent the bleeding of any points that get scored by Squeaks this jam.
They're down a blocker, and they've also they're down a jammer. That's tough. Martha Squeaks breaks through immediately for their initial pass, taking lead jammer status.
That was a great coordinated offense spring by Angel City on the outside line there. Really easy to help your jammer out when you don't have to worry about any defense to play as well.
And Squeaks takes the inside line, but is pushed out of bounds and has to recycle.
Last line of defense by number 222, Moxie for Ventura. But Squeaks is sneaking out for another 4 points, with Purple Haze out of the box and making their initial pass as well.
Squeaks comes around for another pass. The pack is moving quickly, trying to get ahead of them. Squeaks hits the wall, pushes through as Purple Haze comes up, and Squeaks calls off the jam to stop Purple Haze from scoring points.
Purple Haze managed to get in there and squeak out 1 point before the jam was called off, but Squeaks got the full 4 points as well, so maybe 3. I think 3. So 7-1 jam there. It's pretty solid. Great power jam by Angel, but Ventura did a good job of not turning that into a full spiral and giving up a lot of points.
They absolutely did. The score is evening up here as we move further into the first half. Both jammers fighting their way through the pack. Steph Infection getting towards the front of the pack, but it's knocked out of bounds on the inside line. With Steph Infection knocked out of bounds on the outside line, the Ventura City Jammer fighting towards the front, breaks through, and takes lead jammer status.
Great moves by number 2-3 Galgo there for Ventura. Made it past each individual Angel City blocker, I think at least 2 or 3 times to gain lead there, but Myalatov Cattail is right on their heels.
And the jam is called off right as Myalatov Cattail hits the ball.
0-0 on that one. No points scored by either jammer. So we've got some great arguments happen over here by the Ventura coaches, talking about how the jammer has until the end of the 4th whistle to score their point. So if they can sneak their hit past any of the blockers before that 4th whistle, they still have the chance to get those points. So we'll keep an eye on that as the game keeps going.
You never want to give up in roller derby until the last second. And Ventura County breaks through to be lead jammer status.
We heard a penalty whistle in there. Looks like it's one of the blockers for Ventura, but Sweet Tea is through on the first scoring pass, putting 4 points up on the board. And the Angel City Jammer Queenie is still fighting to get through on that initial pass.
Oh, they tried to do an impressive apex jump there, but they went out of bounds and they have to recycle.
And a second star pass completed to number 723 Party Poison for Angel City. She'll take a stab at getting through this big Ventura wall with their great defense, but 624 is around for another scoring pass.
Derby Darlins jammer is pushed out of bounds on the inside, but comes around on the outside and makes it past the Road Ragers wall. Going around for another scoring pass. The ACD jammers fighting their way through near the back of the pack. And we've got a little bit of jammer on jammer action.
That may be one of my favorite things to do as a pivot turn jammer. If I'm stuck, I might as well just block at this point and try and
just start helping. Just join the wall.
If I'm not going to get out, then I might as well be another body in the way of that jammer sneaking by. Oh, Sweet Tea with some great footwork off the outside line.
The Derby Darlins put up a very tough wall there.
It was a huge wall, and it just allowed Sweet Tea to really go around. I think that was an 18-point jam.
We're getting some very high point jams this time. All right.
We've got one Angel City blocker in the box. I think that's actually our previous jam jammer, Queenie, who will be out on this jam as a blocker.
And ACD takes lead jammer. Flat track monster, starting it off quick. The Road Ragers are holding back the Derby Darlins jammer and hits them out on the outside line.
Great hit by the Bexorcist as the last line of defense to keep that Ventura jammer in the pack for another pass, while Flat Track Monster is out here looking for some points.
And the Derby Darlins jammer with a strong run on the inside line breaks through the pack.
Monster sneaks out for her 4 when the bench is calling for a long jam. Angels trying to put up some more points while they have lead jammer.
The pack speeds up. Both jammers coming in hot.
Both of these jammers have at least a couple points. We'll see who makes their way out. And it looks like Flat Track Monster's bet is paying off to go for this long jam.
Derby Darlins jammers fighting their way through, but the Road Ragers are putting up a strong defense.
All right,
It's like watching pinball out there. Ooh, Flat Track Monster with an apex jump.
Great jump by Flat Track Monster, but this entire Ventura wall looks a little out of play to me. They're too far behind the rest of the players to be counted as in play. And that allows Monster to sneak through again, grab another 4 points, and call it off.
That was an impressive jam.
That was a great gamble, or great decision by the Angel City bench there. They knew they had lead, they felt good about this jammer matchup, and they decided to give up a handful of points, but really let Monster go for a good run there. Oh. And just in the nick of time, Angel City's bench gets off another timeout call. With about 8 minutes left in this half. So already really exciting. I'd say it's a little bit of a slinky game, right? Ventura will have a really great jam and get ahead by, another 15, 20 points, and then Angel City will kind of claw their way back into it, but it's never gotten to an insurmountable points where we're starting to see a real differentiation between the two.
Yeah, this is definitely anybody's game still. We're sitting at currently the Angel City We're currently sitting at the ACD Road Ragers at 42 points and the Ventura County Derby Darlins at 61 points.
And if everything stays the same as who's out on the track right now, it looks like we're going to get our matchup of Steph Infection versus Purple Haze again.
We're back to it. An epic matchup.
Do you think that the jammers who end up matching against each other, they're like, oh, I really wish it would mix up, or I really like going against this person. I wonder how they're feeling.
I feel like it's kind of fun to just constantly go up against the same person.
I don't know, sometimes that feels like the definition of insanity, right? Just keep trying the same thing and expecting a different result.
Well, it's nice when it changes.
Oh, it's a great as expected outcome. Both jammers out really quickly with Steph Infection having lead despite being behind Purple Haze.
For everyone new to roller derby, once you get lead jammer, the other jammer cannot get lead jammer status. Even if they physically pass you on the track, they still are not lead jammer. Lead jammer is only awarded to the first jammer through both packs. Our next jam is about to begin. We got some strong offense there from the ACD blockers. The Derby Darlins jammer takes lead, pushing through the pack.
Both jammers went for that same inside line lane, and the Ventura jammer able to sneak through.
The ACD jammer pushes through on the inside line for their initial pass. The Derby Darlins jammer who is lead is stuck near the back of the pack, but pushes their way through and calls off the jam.
That was perfect timing. That Angel City jammer was right at the back of the pack, almost about to score points. So great timing from the Ventura jammer and their bench.
Both jammers fighting hard right off the line. Derby Darlins jammer is knocked out on the outside line and has to recycle.
These are just two great defensive walls that we're seeing so far in this game.
Really are. Flat Track Monster is pushing hard against that Derby Darlins wall, but they are holding strong.
Oh, Monster finally gets some movement in that wall, breaking things up, but the Ventura blockers at the back to play some O as well, and Monster takes advantage of it to sneak out with lead jammer.
That was some fancy footwork by Monster there to get through that wall. That was a tough wall.
This looks like our second jam in a row of this matchup between Monster and number 96, Alan, your mom, for Ventura. This paid off for Angel City and Flat Track Monster last time, so we'll see if they can repeat with that. Great hit by number 222, Moxie, for Ventura on the outside.
The Derby Darlins jammer passes off the cover, and now the pivot has become the jammer for their initial pass.
Ventura with a great star pass at the end of that jam to force Monster to call that off, stopping the bleeding from the last time when they ended up running that jam long. And we're back to my favorite matchup. We've got Steph Infection versus Purple Haze.
It's the matchup of the game.
This one, these two seem to get lead pretty quickly, so we'll see how this unfolds.
Both jammers hitting hard, pushing through. Steph is near the front of the pack, pushing up against the Derby Darlins. One blocker left in their way. Oh, but Purple Haze manages to sneak by on the inside line and take lead jammer status.
The pack
Both
is
jammers moving quick.
fast.
The pack moving around the track as fast as possible, trying to stop them from reaching the pack.
So the strategy here would be for Angel City to try and get up to the front so that they force Purple Haze to call it off to avoid giving up the points at the back to Steph Infection, who is right on her heels.
Perfectly executed by the ACD blockers.
I love when roller derby follows theory, when the team knows what they're doing and makes those smart decisions.
Perfect strategy.
That was an interesting two jams back to back. We had a nice, slow, grueling defense to start, and then every time we see Steph Infection and Purple Haze out on the line, things are fast and quick.
Always. Those two are a very consistent matchup. Both jammers fighting through the pack. Derby Darlins jammer on the outside line gets pushed out. Yellowtop Cattail takes the lead.
Great hit by the Angel pivot, Martha Squeaks, who's playing double duty, both blocking and jamming today.
Derby Darlins pass the cover, and their jammer is now on their initial pass. Both jammers in the pack.
All right,
And
a
the
lot
jam
of
is called
chaos
off.
there with some whistles. Looks like we had one Angel City blocker head to the box, but then the Angel jammer also called it off. Oh, interesting, but did not score any points before doing so.
So that was a no-point jam. Both teams put in a lot of effort there for absolutely no points.
I actually think Ventura managed to sneak in 1 point,
Oh, okay.
despite not being lead jammer there. Oh. And it looks like the coach of the Road Ragers Bermuda Biangle agrees with me and wants to have a discussion with the referees about what happened in that jam, and called the official review for the Road Ragers.
And we're in an official review.
But Ellie is letting us know that that official review they are just using as a timeout. So we actually aren't going to stop and talk about the rules. Angel City just wants to use that official review to kill some time on the bench, let everybody get a breath. It's a pretty smart strategy because you get one official review per half, and they do not carry over. So with only 2 minutes left in the half, that was a great decision. Although if it were me, Bermuda, I would have probably asked about those points. Well, that's your decision.
The announcer is trying to give tips.
You know, I coach the Angel City Rocket Queens, so that's actually my job. Is exactly what Bermuda's doing right now, is to watch the track, help with the calls, and talk to the refs. So, but you know, I think that we've got a great crew of refs right now today, so I think they were definitely keeping an eye on where that jammer was and if they got any points. So, good use of the timeout, and we've got 2 minutes left to see what'll happen at the end of this first half.
The Road Ragers are at 46, and the Derby Darlins are at 66. It's still anybody's game.
One blocker left for Flat Track Monster to pass, and she makes it out. She grabs lead jammer, but is forced to go all the way back and completely restart. But luckily, that lead jammer status is maintained despite having to go back.
Ooh, the Derby Darlins wall is being brutal and pushing Flat Track Monster out of bounds on the inside line. Meanwhile, the Road Ragers wall is holding strong against the Derby Darlins jammer, keeping them stuck at the back of the pack. Flat Track Monster is back at the front of the pack, but is once again pushed out on the outside line.
Angel City gets their blocker who is in the box back to the track. So we've got a full cohort 4v4.
Flat Track Monster breaks through.
Monster finally finishes that lead jammer lap and grabs the ability to score points, but we've got a star pass to pivot 2-2-2 Moxie for Ventura. So a very short amount of time to score unopposed.
Flat Track Monster coming up on the pack, looking to score some points. Pushes their way through and calls the jam off. Looks like the Derby Darlin jammer managed to get some points in there too. We'll have to see. Yeah, looks like
we've got score for both, but Moxie managed to sneak through and grab all 4 points while Monster made it through with 3 before that jam was over. And I think we've probably got time for about one more jam of the half.
It looks like we've got Purple Haze and Queenie jamming for this next one. Both jammers pushing their way through. Purple Haze taking lead jammer. Queenie fighting their way through the pack, recycled backwards by the Derby Darlins blockers. Purple Haze pushing their way through at the front of the pack, manages to break through again for 4 points. Queenie still fighting their way through for their initial pass, takes off their star cover, looking to pass to their pivot, looking for some relief.
Ventura's doing a great job here, though, of keeping 2-2-2 Bexorcist away until right there at that last moment, and Angel City is able to get off a star pass.
And they call off the jam. And that's halftime. Don't forget to go and check out the ACD concession stand. At the bar, we've got beer, pineapple cider, margaritas, mocktails, vodka mules, Jell-O shots, sodas, waters, and more. At the food stand, we've got hot dogs, nachos, chili dogs, vegan nachos, chips, candy, and more. And if you're feeling real patriotic Angel City Derby, go check out the merch stand where you can buy stickers, t-shirts, patches, kids apparel. We've got a little under 14 minutes left in this halftime. Can all the road ragers please come to your bench? All the road ragers, please come to your bench. We have just under 2 minutes left in the intermission. One more minute till roller derby.
My co-host. It's a little unstable every time I come.
Who's ready for more roller derby action? Both teams seem ready to go. We had a really strong first half there. Lots of high-scoring jams. Both of these teams are determined to prove that they're ready for a good season.
We've got a 25-point difference between the teams here. Angel City at 49, Ventura at 74. That's about where we've sat for a lot of the first half.
Yeah, it's been a pretty even gap between both teams. And the action starts back up again. ACD Jammer pushing towards the front of the pack, trying their best. Oh, but Purple Haze breaks through and gets lead Jammer.
Flat Track Monsters making one last push and gets out on her initial lap as well. But Purple Haze is coming in for some points to start the second half.
Purple Haze knocked down and calls off the jam right as Flat Track Monster is coming up on the pack.
2 points for Ventura, and Angel City has one blocker still stuck in the penalty box for, I'm gonna guess, about 1 or 2 more seconds.
So ACD down one blocker going into this next jam.
All right, we've got number 23, Galgo, lining up for Ventura. I saw them changing some skates over here on the bench, so maybe newly powered with some skates for this second half against Steph Infection for Angel City.
Galgo pushing against that Road Ragers wall. Oh, Steph Infection pushes forward and takes lead Jammer. Galgo still stuck against the Road Ragers wall. Oh, but there's a star pass in the pivot for the Derby Darlins now as the Jammer and has finished their initial pass.
And we've seen 624 jam for Ventura as well, so it's a risky decision that Angel makes to keep running the jam, and Sweet Tea is right through for 4 points to match Steph Infection. Steph Infection sneaking in, gets past at least a couple and calls it off. 2 more points to round that out for Angel City.
Slowly closing that gap between the two teams.
But I did hear some whistles. I'm wondering if we have a very end of the jam penalty, and it looks like we do on a Ventura blocker. So Ventura will start down 1 in the pack to start this jam. However, they have 4 on the bench, so there's some enthusiastic gesturing to get one of them to leave the track. Jam is on.
ACD Jammers pushing up against that Derby Darlin wall. Oh, it's pushed out on the outside line and recycled to the back of the pack. The Road Raiders wall is holding strong against the Derby Darlin blocker.
Great defense there by Martha Squeaks on the Angel City side to kind of be last line of defense. while that Ventura tripod is really locking it down in the back.
They really are. Oh, and the Derby Darlins Jammer pushes through to get lead Jammer. ACD Jammer hot on their heels, through on their initial pass. The pack is moving quick.
And the pack's starting to pick up a little bit of speed. Angel City trying to save some of those points.
Derby Darlin Jammers coming into the pack, collides with their own player and ends up out of bounds on the outside and calls off the jam.
That's rough. I hate when I trip my own jammers. If I get in their way, I feel really bad. But at the same time, I was here and you ran into me too. So we'll both work on that.
No one's in the box. We've got 2 full lines on the track. We've got Queenie up to jam. This is actually Queenie's very first full roller derby game.
Wow, look at that.
Congratulations to Queenie.
Starting 2026 off strong for Queenie, but going up against a force to be reckoned with in Purple Haze for Ventura, who gets right out even before reaching turn 1.
But Queenie's fighting hard, pushing their way through the pack. They get recycled as the Derby Darlin Jammer Purple Haze comes through to hit the pack again. Fighting against that Road Rager wall.
Great offense by Bex there, trying to help Queenie get out.
Queenie pushing hard against the Derby Darlins wall and passes the star to Bexorcist. Bexorcist gets through on their initial pass.
Forcing Purple Haze to call it off for Ventura. Great job by Bex there. Doing some work trying to get her jammer out and then being like, never mind, I will take it from here.
It's so important for the pivot to be there when the jammer really needs them most, to provide that much needed relief when you're up against a particularly strong wall. And we have the Road Raiders at 56 and the Ventura County Derby Darlins at 85.
Flat track monster with some amazing offense by Martha Squeaks right up that inside line.
That was some really good footwork. And the Derby Darlins Jammer breaks through for their initial pass as Flat Track Monster comes up on the back of the pack fighting against the Derby Darlin blockers.
Just a really solid defensive wall there by Ventura, but Flat Track Monster manages to get through and perfectly calls it off right before Galgo can squeak in any points there at the back of the pack.
Both teams are putting up some really strong defense this game.
All right, penalty box is empty. We've got full 5v5 out on the track. And we're back to that exact same differential that we had 5 minutes ago when we started the half. So just some really good matchups between these two teams here. Steph Infection starts it off strong with a big hit and has one left to beat.
Oh yeah, Steph Infection fighting hard to get that lead jammer status.
And a great wall of Martha Squeaks and the Bexorcist, as well as Joe Mama Squeak in there in the end, helps hold Sweet Tea back for just another couple seconds to give Steph some time to score.
They did a great job holding back that Derby Darlins jammer. Steph is in the pack getting their points, and they call off the jam before the Derby Darlins jammer can make it back to the pack.
Great work there. Pretty perfect 4 and out. And the Ventura team clearly wants to talk about it, see how they can adjust as we enter into this second half. 64 Angel City to 85 Ventura.
We are closing that gap between the two teams.
All right, so at the end of this game, I feel like I heard something about a hot dog contest.
Yeah, we're going to be having 2 contestants from the audience coming down to race to see who can eat 2 hot dogs the fastest.
You know, that's an interesting thing because I was just over in the concession stand at halftime and sounds like they're going to have to make some extra hot dogs. Be ready for this. But I heard that you can win some Angel City tickets. A free 4-person pass to a future Angel City game and drink tickets at the concession stand if you win the hot dog eating contest.
I don't know about you, but I'm interested.
I hate hot dogs, so
I'll
leave that to
like
everyone else.
Who doesn't like hot dogs?
I would eat the nachos at the concession stand all day long.
Okay, I would be into a nacho eating contest. Can we change it? Because I would volunteer.
I think maybe we plan that for the next game.
Yeah, nacho eating contest.
Nacho eating contest. All right, and
It's
we're
nacho
back.
average contest.
Purple Haze is racing for those nachos and gets out with lead jammer real quick.
And the ACD Jammer is pushing, trying to get their way through the pack as Purple Haze comes back into the pack, pushing their way through for their first scoring pass. The ACD Jammer makes it through on their initial pass. Purple Haze fighting their way up on the inside line and calls it off.
All right, all 4 points for Purple Haze, so a trade from the last jam that Angel City had. 1 Angel City blocker heads to the box, so we've got 1 of each, so we'll start 3-3 for this jam with our blockers. And looks like we've got a same matchup. Maybe this is our matchup of this half. We've got Flat Track Monster versus Galgo.
Two very fast jammers on the line. Let's see who's going to get lead. Both jammers hit the pack hard. Oh, both Galgo. Galgo gets lead jammer status. Flat Track Monster makes their way through the pack.
But an Angel City blocker heading to the box on a directional for the offense that helped get Flat Track Monster out. But Bexorcist with a great hit.
That was a great hard hit against the Derby Darlins jammer. ACD was down to only 2 blockers there. That's a very tough situation to be in.
So now we've got an even tougher situation. They have 3 blockers in the box, so we are about to start with 1 singular Angel City blocker on the track.
That's a lot of responsibility on just 1 blocker's shoulder. What's tougher, starting with just 1 blocker or starting in a power jam?
Well, I'm a blocker, so I hate starting with 1 blocker because that definitely sucks.
Because that means it's you.
At least on a power jam, I've got a couple of friends, but no, there's some good strategy. Sometimes your jammer can help play some defense with you. Sometimes your jammer's goal is just to try and get out as fast as possible and match point for point and kill some time while you get your blockers out of the box. But we'll see what Angel City ends up doing here. They send number 412, Reign of Terror, out on the track. And Martha Squeaks is going to go out there as our jammer of choice for this very down-pack situation. We'll see what Ventura does as a highly weighted offense opportunity to try and get some points on the board. All right, looks like we've got an official timeout was taken, I think to help make sure that we had everything straight with the lots of penalties that kind of rolled in there at the end.
There's a lot of paperwork to be done with every single penalty that happens. Everything is tracked in roller derby. And our officials work very hard in order to make sure that everything makes sense and the rules are followed.
And we saw a strategy there of Martha Squeaks trying to play a little bit of defense, but Ventura Jammer is out with Squeaks pretty close on her heels.
And ACD now has 2 blockers out on the track. Oh, but Ray gets a penalty and is sent away. We're back down to 1 blocker for the Road Ragers. The Derby Darlins jammer makes it through against that 1 blocker and calls off the jam as Martha Squeaks heads into the pack.
And Martha Squeaks managed to squeak in 2 points there at the very end. So a 4-2 jam when you were down 3 blockers is pretty successful.
That's actually very successful.
Unfortunately, Reign of Terror, the only blocker on that jam, ended up going to the box. So we will start another jam with 3 Angel City blockers in the box.
That's a tough break for the Road Ragers.
And it looks like the decision was that last jam went so well that they're going to send Martha Squeaks back out on the track to do it again.
If they can do it once, they can do it twice. But Road Ragers did a great job there of not letting the Derby Darlins take too much advantage of that situation, not let the point gap get much bigger.
We've got a little bit of track maintenance going on as we've got an official timeout here. Angel City is very lucky to be doing the work to hold down this new home venue, and it's really nice to have a home track and have it laid down and only have to do some minor track repair and not lay the track for every single game. So thank you all for joining us and being a part of helping make this warehouse a space for everybody to be here to watch some great roller derby.
We're sitting right now with the Road Ragers at 70 points and the Derby Darlins at 93. So Derby Darlins have a 23-point lead. We're keeping that score spread very consistent.
I will say, so far in the second half, we haven't seen any of the big, high-scoring jams that we saw early in the first half. Ventura had a couple 18, 20-plus point jams, and we just haven't seen any of those late in the first half and so far in the second half.
And the Road Ragers have definitely figured out how to stop their jammers from being able to break through so many times.
All right, so our second game of the evening, when we get to it, is going to be the Angel City Shore Shots versus the Arizona Bad News Beaters. They've come all the way out for the first game of the year, so we're excited for that one as well.
And we're back.
All right, let's see how Martha Squeaks and Angel City can do with this second down 3-pack start. And if Ventura can capitalize on the opportunity. Purple Haze gets up the inside line, but Miss Vengeance with some great defense.
Road Ragers held them back as long as they could, but Purple Haze gets lead jammer status. Squeaks gets recycled back to the rear of the pack. Another ACD blocker gets another penalty. The two Road Ragers blockers are currently on the track fighting against Purple Haze. The Bextricist gets a hard hit, knocking them out on the outside line and recycles them backwards.
And Martha Squeaks working it on that outside line. Oh, taken out right at the very end.
Purple Haze fighting their way through the pack and gets through for 4 points.
We're looking back to about a normal pack size, and a star pass to the Bextricist allows the Angel City Jammer to get out. And Purple Haze is through one more time, untouched. Great offense by the Ventura team there to put a couple more points up on the board.
Honestly, it was impressive what the Road Ragers blockers were able to do with so few of them on the track.
You know, those penalty spirals can be really hard because when there's less of you on the track, it's harder. You overextend, you go for those hits. And so great job on the Road Ragers to get out of that spiral and be starting in this jam with a 5-5 matchup against Ventura as well.
And our score is sitting at Road Ragers at 70 and the Derby Darlins at 101. Both jammers pushing their way through the pack. Derby Darlins jammer up front pushes through to get lead jammer status. And the Road Ragers pivot. The Bextricist has gotten a penalty.
Oh, I might have spoken too soon. We've got two Road Ragers blockers on the way to the box in this jam, while Alan, your mom, is around on the first full scoring pass with Queenie still stuck in the pack on their initial pass.
Queenie's pushing hard against that Derby Darlins wall, but they are solid. Meanwhile, the Derby Darlins jammers recycled backwards to the back of the pack. Road Ragers is down to only 2 blockers, but they are holding strong against the Derby Darlins blocker, not against the Derby Darlins jammer.
We're seeing that really strong, just defensive wall by Ventura again. Things had gotten a little fast for a little while, but they've really locked it down on that one. And Ventura chooses to call it off, maybe to freeze one of the Angel City blockers in the box, but Queenie wasn't even out on there initially yet, so maybe a little bit of a saving grace for Angel City there.
Road Ragers have 1 blocker in the box. They'll be starting with 2 blockers on the, it seems like we're trying to figure this out.
And Angel City is going to take a timeout there to figure it out. Maybe try and talk and reset this penalty spiral that we've going on here.
Yeah, the Road Ragers have spent a lot of time in the second half with fewer blockers on the track. Puts them at a real disadvantage to hold back those Derby Darlins jammers.
All right. Huge shout out to our officials, both our on-skate officials and our non-skating officials, who are doing some great work, not only to keep this game safe and fair, but also to deal with all these little nitpicky rules. Roller derby's got a lot of rules to deal with, and they're managing those well so that those of us on skates and on the track can have a lot of fun and be real safe at the same time playing roller derby.
It takes so much effort and so many volunteers to make roller derby happen, so we really appreciate everybody who's involved in making this game possible. The Road Raiders are sitting at 70 points to Derby Darlins 109 points.
And we've got just over 17 minutes left, so about a quarter of this game left to see if the Road Raiders can get some points on the board and bring this game closer, if Ventura is going to keep holding on to it.
Derby Darlins have definitely increased their point lead.
Oh. Ventura jammer, Sweet Tea tries to take that inside line, but is knocked out, but recycles and is back up and on their way to lead. Flat Track Monster with one more to pass, gets past Moxie.
That was a fancy juke they just did there. I liked that. Sweet Tea heading back into the pack. Road Raiders still only have 2 blockers out on the track. The Bectors just comes out to aid their team members. And the jam is called off.
But Flat Track Monster got in there and managed to steal 2 points before those whistles blew. So a 2-2 jam. And we end with 1 blocker for each team in the box. So that was a great job for Angel City to even that out, and a great job for Ventura to keep putting some points on the board.
It definitely must feel good for them to know that they have the same amount of blockers as the Derby Darlins.
And here we go. My favorite matchup is back on the track again. We've got Purple Haze for Ventura versus Steph Infection for the Road Ragers.
Purple Haze pushing their way through for lead jammer status right away. That was fast.
Great offensive sweep by Angel City's blockers. Gets Steph Infection out, just about a half a lap behind. And we will see how many points Purple Haze can put up on the board.
Purple Haze coming up on the Road Raiders blockers, pushes their way through for points. That's 4 points for the Derby Darlins and 0 points for the Road Ragers.
All right, and it looks like for the first time in a while, we have an empty penalty box. So everybody cheers for an empty penalty box. Woo! And we are on. We've got Molotov Cattail out there for the Road Ragers.
Molotov Cattail takes lead jammer. And the Derby Darlin Jammer is hot on their heels, finishing their initial pass. Molotov hits the wall, goes out on the inside line. Derby Darlin's Jammer is in the pack, fighting against the Road Ragers wall, trying to score those points. Molotov Cattail pushing their way through, near the front of the pack, and calls off the jam.
All right, looks like we've got a 3v3 jam there again. So props to these jam refs who are doing a great job of keeping very careful count of the number of points that we have.
Jam roughing is not an easy job.
I will say it is one of my favorite of the reffing positions. I love counting points because I like handing them out. Feels like candy. But the jammers have worked very, very hard for.
Yes, you have to work very hard for that candy.
All right, jam is on, and Sweet Tea sneaks up that inside to grab lead jammer for Ventura. Flat Track Monster fighting at the top, trying to get out past that last line of defense.
The pack is moving very fast here. Flat Track Monster is hit hard and pushed out on the outside line. Oh, but that is a directional called on the Derby Darlins blocker.
Oh, huge pile up here in turn 3 allows Flat Track Monster to get out and Sweet Tea to score unopposed.
And that jam is called off. That was a very physical jam we just saw. Lots of hard hits.
All right, we're gonna start this jam with 1 Angel City blocker in the box and 2 Ventura blockers in the box.
Road Raiders, for the first time in quite a while, are starting with more blockers on the track than the Derby Darlins. Let's see if they can take advantage of this.
Steph Infection out there fighting those 2 Ventura blockers, and Purple Haze against that really solid Angel City tripod.
Both walls are very strong, but Steph Infection pushes their way through.
And a 3rd Ventura blocker heading to the box. Looks like we've got a penalty do-si-do happening over here, but Purple Haze takes advantage and gets out of the box, out of the pack, and Steph is scoring.
Purple Haze gets through for another scoring pass. The pack is moving fast. Both jammers trying their best to catch up. Steph hits the pack, pushing their way through, pushing against the Derby Darlins wall. And pushed out on the outside line and calls off the jam.
Steph manages to get 3 more points on that pass and call it off without letting Ventura score any. And we're back to an empty penalty box. Yes, people, cheers for an empty penalty box. Very good, very good.
We have full lines out on the track.
Good defense by both teams right off that jammer line, but we see, Flat Track Monster made a good pass right on the outside and gets out after a no pass, no penalty around a Ventura blocker who hit them, but then got called for a penalty.
The Road
Great
Raiders
track awareness by Flat Track Monster.
Road Raiders blockers are holding strong against the Derby Darlins jammer. Flat Track Monster getting around and threw in for another scoring pass.
Great solid defense here by the Road Ragers, really settling in.
They are showing that Derby Darlins jammer absolutely no kindness.
Flat Track Monster tries to go up that outside line, but smartly knows to go back.
Derby Darlins jammer still fighting against the Road Raiders wall. All 4 blockers working together to make sure that they have a very bad day.
Bexes that last line of defense and lands a great hit.
Derby Darlins jammer is recycled to the back of the pack as Flat Track Monster pushes through and gets through for another scoring pass. Derby Darlin jammer fighting hard, trying to get through, but those Road Raiders blockers are just showing them absolutely no mercy. They're hit out of bounds on the inside line. Flat Track Monster recycling to the back of the pack, pushing their way through, hitting up against the Derby Darlins wall, and running through the inside line to get another 4 points.
Tough time. Ventura doesn't have the option right now to do a star pass to try and get that jammer out on their initial pass with their pivot Sweet Tea in the box, but she is out, and we will see what they do.
This is one of those high-scoring jams. Flat Track Monster really putting up points on the board for the Road Ragers. Flat Track Monster hitting the pack again, pushing their way through, pushed down on the outside line and calls off the jam. That was a really high-scoring jam for the Road Ragers. That'll really help them to close up that point gap.
Great job by Flat Track Monster and the entire Angel City wall there. That was some of the solid defense we've seen that we saw early in the first half, but we've been a little fast-moving in the second half.
It really helps them to actually have all their blockers on the track.
Yeah, that's a real concept.
And we're back to only a 25-point gap between the 2 teams. A very consistent gap that we've been seeing all game long.
All right, we took an official timeout to give our official team some time to chat things through and make sure they've crossed all the T's and dot all the I's. We've got some strategy happening on this back line, discussions with our jammers.
The Derby Darlins did a really good job of widening that point gap in the beginning of this half, but now they've lost that big advantage they've got. They're back down to just 25 points.
Yeah, Flat Track Monster really brought it back with that 18-point jam.
That's a lot of points. That's a lot of laps. Will the Road Raiders be able to close this gap even more, or will the Derby Darlins manage to hold their own?
We've got 10 more minutes to see how it unfolds. I hear a lot of cheers in the crowd for Queenie. Very exciting first game of roller derby. 10 more minutes, feeling great.
They've been going up against some very difficult walls in their first game as a jammer.
And with that whistle, we are back. Queenie trying to go up the inside line. Ventura Jammer going up the outside line. Good defensive triangles by both teams.
We've got some very difficult tripods that they're fighting against out there. Ventura Jammer's near the front of the pack, but is pushing hard against that Road Ragers wall, which just absolutely refuses to break. Queenie's recycled back to the back of the pack. Ventura Jammer fighting hard and pushes through to get lead jammer status. Queenie still fighting hard against that Ventura wall.
If I'm not mistaken,
Trying to go up the inside line and manages to get through for their initial pass. Ventura Jammers coming in, trying to get some points on their first scoring pass. Pushing through the Road Ragers. I think that was a 4-point jam. 4 points indeed for the Ventura County Derby Darlings.
I think that was the first jam we saw that Ventura Jammer Stevie kick. So great job, first jam, 4 points. Oh, but we've got 2 jammers on the line that we have seen plenty of times this evening.
Our favorite pairing out there tonight. These two have been going head-to-head over and over again.
And it's been a great matchup because it's a coin flip of which one of them gets out first. We've had success from both of them. Steph tries up that inside line. Purple Haze goes up that outside line.
A hard hit out by the Bexorcist against the Ventura Jammer, Purple Haze. Purple Haze coming around. Bexorcist and Purple Haze fighting at the front, but Purple Haze will get lead jammer. Steph Infection fighting their way from the back of the pack forward. Steph Infection fighting against that Derby Darlin wall and pushes through for their initial pass. Purple Haze fights through on their first scoring pass and calls off the jam with 4 points.
Great 4-0. They're doing things right now.
Hello. Oh. Hello. One of the announcer mics just died. Could Astro or Roxy help us fix the announcer mic that died? And Mielotov Cattail pushes through the pack to get lead jammer status. The Ventura... The Ventura County Jammer pushes through the pack. Gets their initial pass. Mielotov Cattail is still the lead jammer, calls off the jam before Ventura can get any points. That's 4 more points for the Road Ragers. Both teams take the track again for our next jam. Flat Track Monster hits the pack, pushing through hard fast on the outside line. Oh, but Sweet Tea manages to get lead jammer status. Both jammers moving around the track fast. We got some jammer on jammer action as Flat Track Monster pushes out Sweet Tea. Flat Track Monster coming up on the pack, but the Ventura Jammer calls it off before they can get any points. All right. We've got Purple Haze back on the track for Ventura. We've got full lines out on the track. Steph Infection pushing their way through to get lead jammer status. Always an exciting matchup between these two. You never know which one of them. Purple Haze is hot on Steph Infection's heels. Both jammers moving around the track. The pack is moving fast. Steph Infection moves through the pack for a scoring pass and calls it off. 4 points for Steph Infection.
3-4 jam there. Steph Infection manages to squeak out 1 extra point, but Purple Haze gets some points on the board before that call off. And we've got under 5 minutes left of roller derby in this game, everybody.
Can the Road Ragers close this point gap? We've seen some high-scoring jams from the Road Ragers this half.
And we do have Flat Track Monster out on the track who had that last 18-point jam, so let's see how we do. But it's Sweet Tea who sneaks out with lead jammer for Ventura. Ventura really owning this game here in the second half and trying to hold on to that lead, but Flat Track Monster is about a half lap behind.
Sweet Tea pushing their way through the pack, heading up onto the Road Raiders wall, trying to push their way through. This is a very fast-moving pack. And the Road Raiders blocker, the Baxter Chest, pushes Sweet Tea out on the outside line. The jam is called off.
We've got a flip of the last point score. We've got 3 points for Ventura there, but Angel City manages to grab 2 points before the jam is over. So great job to both of these teams for their jammers really not giving up even when they don't have lead and still fighting to go grab 1, 2, or 3 points before the call is made. We've got full packs out there on the track. Ventura jammer makes the cut up the inside.
Road Raiders on the inside, trying their best to push through the pack. Both jammers stuck at the back of the pack. The Road Raiders jammer that was pushing forward, but is pushed out on the outside line. As the Ventura jammer is down to just the Ventura jammer and Ray up at the front. Ray's holding the line strong, but the Ventura jammer pushes past them to get lead jammer status.
Oh,
that's a hard hit against the Road Raiders jammer, pushed out on the inside line and recycled to the back of the pack.
Great dip on the outside line there by that Ventura jammer, but Angel City manages to keep it closed. Martha Squeaks trying to help get Myalotov Cattail out, but jam is called off. We've got at least time for 1 more, if not 2 more jams before this game is up. We've got about 2.5 minutes, so we'll see how this goes.
We're sitting with the Road Raiders at 110 points and the Derby Darlins at 140. That's a 30-point gap. Let's see what the Road Raiders can do in these last few minutes.
Angel City and Steph Infection start with 1 extra blocker, but Purple Haze is making the good pass up the outside line and sneaks out for lead with Steph Infection right on her heels.
Both jammers are racing around the track, doing their absolute best to get points. This is a fast-moving jam here. The pack is moving fast. The jammers are moving fast. Both jammers hit the pack, and Purple Haze calls it off after hitting the pack and going out on the outside line.
Looks like 1 point for Ventura. Still waiting to see how many points Angel City might have grabbed before the jam was up. Some good discussion happened with our referees out there. We've got some really experienced referees as well as some newer referees, so great opportunities for everybody to learn during gameplay as well. And Angel City calls their official review for the half as a timeout, so no need to talk to those refs, even though it looks like they're talking amongst themselves.
Let's go ahead and give it up for all of our awesome officials that have kept this game running and kept our skaters safe.
A 31-point jam would be pretty impressive, but it's technically not impossible. But Ventura's done a great job in this second half of really smart decision-making, smart play to hold on to that lead. And even though Angel City has fought and chipped up against it, we're still at about that 25-30 points that we were at halftime. So just some 2 greatly matched teams for this game. We are about 1 minute away from that hot dog eating contest between the 2 games, though. So if you are interested in fighting for that 4-pack of tickets, We'll get to that after one more jam of this Road Ragers Ventura game.
And Flat Track Monster hits the pack. Both jammers pushing their way through, but the Ventura jammer is recycled. Flat Track Monster makes it through to get lead jammer status. What can they do with this? Well, with the Ventura County jammer is hot on their heels. Flat Track Monster coming up on the pack, pushing their way through for their scoring pass on the outside line with some fancy footwork, but they're pushed out and call off the jam.
So I lied when I said the last jam was going to be the last jam. We've got time for one more jam.
One more jam. Give it up for one more jam, everybody. It's sure to be an epic one as both teams leave it all out on the track.
We've got a very well-known face, Steph Infection out there for the Road Ragers, and then a newer jammer. It may actually be their first jam, number 5-6 Smash Squatch. No jam? Guys, I might have lied. Actually, I just might have been right that the last jam was the last jam, but we'll let our officials talk it out.
This is when you learn that you should always listen to Death.
I'm okay if that is the takeaway, but we will see. One more jam.
One more jam. One more jam. One more jam. One more jam. As the officials are figuring out whether or not we're going to have this one last jam. Both teams eagerly await the decision.
And we have just been updated. There were 31 seconds left on the clock, so we will have one more jam.
One last jam! Let's see what the Road Raiders can do with one last jam against the Derby Darlins. Going into this one last jam, we've got the Road Raiders at 112 and the Derby Darlins at 142.
Full packs out on the track. And we've got 2 minutes left to see whose game this is. Steph Infection fights up that inside line. Great offense.
Can they get lead jammer? They're pushed back. And Ventura County gets lead jammer as they push through the pack. Steph Infection hot on their heels. The pack moves quickly. Both jammers racing against the clock here.
I think Smash Squatch wants to put up a couple of points before calling it off, which they do.
And the jam is called off after getting a few points for Ventura County.
All right, looks like that was 2 more points for both teams. So an unofficial but likely final score of 114 points for the Angel City Road Ragers and 144 points for the Ventura County Derby Darlins.
The Road Ragers made the Derby Darlins fight hard for every single point they scored. That was an epic first game for this season.
I know, if that was the very first game of the season, I don't even want to imagine what we have in store for us for the rest of 2026. But come on out to the trackside if you want to high-five these skaters for all the great work that they did. Congrats to Ventura.
Both teams fought really hard and they deserve your congratulations.
Okay.
We've been trying to hype it up.
Congratulations to the Derby Darlins for their victory. Don't forget, we've got another game coming up next. We've got the Angel City Shore Shots versus the Arizona Bad News Beaters. But first, we're going to have our hot dog eating contest.
If you would like to attempt to eat these 2 hot dogs and compete for some drinks, as well as a 4-pack of tickets for a future Angel City game, meet us in the middle of the track.
Who is brave enough to take on this incredible hot dog eating challenge?
I said, are you all having a good night so far? Thank you. Let's give it up for our first two teams, Road Ragers and Ventura. Is everybody ready for a headliner game of the night? All right, y'all, it looks like we're finishing up the warm-ups. Well, Derby fans, grab your life vests and brace for impact because we've got a storm brewing on the track tonight. First, sailing in with speed and style and serious sea legs from Angel City Derby, the masters of maritime mayhem, the queens of the coastline. Make some waves for the short shots! And standing in their way, bringing the desert heat and the knockout power from Arizona Roller Derby, tough as nails and bad to the bone. Give it up for the hard-hitting, no-quit crew, the Bad News Beaters! It's a coast versus a desert, waves versus a wreckage. Only one crew leaves on top. Are y'all ready for some roller derby? We'll give it a second so we can meet the teams. All right, y'all, let's give it up for both teams. Short shots, you're up. Number 0, Amelia Scarhart. Number 4, AC Slaughter, and your captain, dear captain. Number 005, Cinco de Mayhem. Number 14, Blitzen. Number 61, Gigi Eileen. 412, Reign of Terror. 444, Webster. 456, your co-captain, Han Yolo. 510, Divide and Stomper. 540, Moxie. 555, Danger Noodle. 603, Martha Squeaks. 808, Hawaii KO. 915, Electra. 1310, Staph Infection. 3400, Rocks. 3435, Flat Tack Marcer. And your coaches, Cracker Jack, Cocoa Butter, and Quiet Riot. Now to meet the Arizona Bad News Beaters, we have 00 Goldilocks, I'm sorry, 01 Goldilocks, 10 Phoenix, 1410 La Mujer Wonderlina, and that's your captain for today. 27 Beethoven, 31 2 by Force, 3381 Helenati, 420 Mustang Ali, number 5 Sunny, number 5811 Sunspot, 633 Morph, number 710 Gail Satan, number 718 Ragin' Bajan, number 73 Dr. 911 Ambulance. And your coaches today for the beaters are Catastrophic, Mecca, and Helenati. And now to introduce your officials for the doubleheader, we have Spunky Brewster, Hellbilly, Decider, Make Some Noise, Elemental, Gin Scrummy, Judgmental, a lot of mentals tonight, Queenie, The Old Razzle Dazzle, Align Your Grill, McWinkle, Call an Ambulance, Fatal Traction, Gravy, Blue Falcon, and Malice. That was a lot. Who's here watching roller derby for the first time? Can I hear you? Raise your hand. Awesome. Everybody. We have a few players that are playing 2 games today, and after a long day of practice, 2 back-to-back. Thoughts and prayers? Looks like we're ready. On the line for Angel City, we have Gigi Aline, 6'1", and Gail Satan. Gail Satan. And we have Gail Satan with an early lead right off the bat. Great defense by the Brewers. And Gigi Aline is out of the pack with Gail Satan following behind again. Somebody saying stop, but they say go. And that is 4 points for Gail Satan. And 1 point for Angel City. And next on the track, we have Hawaii KO and Mustang Ali. Mustang Ali is at the top, trying to get that lead first. But KO is fighting the Brewer wall behind a really tough wall. And KO sneaks up on the inside to get the lead. Coming around for the first 4 points. We have Blitz going to the box. Beautiful jump on the inside, and it is good. Hawaii KO. We have a merciless wall from Angel City. And we have a hat pass for the Brewers with Sonny taking the hat. And KO calls it off. What a beautiful spin on the inside. (11-4), Angels short shots at the top. We have Morph on the line and Cinco. Quickly recycled back by Angel City short shots. Roxon Slaughter holding it in the back. And Ray trying to get Cinco by with some good hard hits with the Brewer wall. We're over 30 seconds into this jam and still no lead. Both walls are holding back. Oh, spoke too soon. Cinco the Mayhem gets the lead. And we have a hat pass for the Bad News Beaters. And it looks like Phoenix is your new jammer on the track for the Beaters. And Cinco calls it off. 7-3. On the track, we have Dr. Doctor and Moxie We just saw, for those of you that stayed for the first game, Moxie played a full game earlier. So this is endurance at its best. And she also practiced for a couple hours this morning. We have both jammers struggling to get through this scrum of packs, and Moxie fights for the lead. We have Dr. in the back, still fighting against the wall with Noodle, Webster, and it looks like and we have 4 points for Moxie. KO, nice little hit on the outside to recycle Dr. on the back, but quickly gets hit out of the track. And Moxie's just relentless trying to get those points, the last few points. And on the track, we have another skater that you saw earlier, Monster, and Gail Satan for the Bad News Beaters. Gail Satan at the top, fighting against a really strong wall of 4 short shot blockers, now 3. The pack is at the front, but Gail Satan takes the lead. Monster still in the back, struggling to get through the Arizona Bad News Beaters. It looks like Monster's still struggling to get out. A really tough wall today by the Beaters. And also just a lot of endurance tonight for Monster in general, being that she played a full game earlier. And here comes Gail Satan for another pass through. Monster is still not out of the pack, being held back. And sneaks by. Let's see if they can get through the one last blocker. The Monster's still struggling to get back. Let's see. But it looks like Gail Satan is also coming back over again. Looking a little winded. And Gail Satan calls the jam. It looks like the Arizona Bad News Beaters take the lead for 26-22, but this is a very close game. Anyone that has watched roller derby before knows that this can change in a matter of seconds. On the line, we have Amelia Scarhart getting a really quick lead. And for the Beaters, trying to fight through the tripod of Noodle, Blitz, and coming back through again, Amelia Scarhart, make it look so easy. And Beaters have a new jammer, that is 718, Ragin' Bajin. Amelia Scarhart trying to get the last of the points. And calls it off just in time. And Angel City is back on the top, 29-28. A 1-point game. Back on the track, it's Gigi, and looks like Morph is back on the track too. And Gigi sneaks by like butter on the inside. And you see Webster puts a stop to Morph. Really strong wall with a new jammer here that is Phoenix taking the hat. And Gigi Aline taking the inside lane again with one blocker at the top to beat, calls it off. The beaters have 2 people in the box right now, so they are down 2, including their jammer. So what do we have right now? A power jam! And we have KO on the track as their power jam starts. And easy. KO takes the automatic lead in the power jam. Angel City blockers hold in the back. And KO makes it inside again for a spectacular 4 points. Blitz coming to the box for Angel City, short shots. And the bad news beaters have cleared the box, so there's four blockers out on the track right now. KO looking for that call off to risk getting those 4 points, and skates by, making it so easy. The short shots have brought it up to 45-28. Back on the line, Gail, Satan, and Moxie. With Angel City having one person in the box. Gail, Satan making their way to the top. And again, taking the lead for the beaters. And Angel City short shots, Moxie goes to the box. So this is a power jam for the beaters. We'll see if the short shots can hold. And Gail saying a little smooth transition there on the inside. Gail coming in for another pass. Looks like the penalty box is clear and everybody is out on the track. Moxie spinning her way side to side, trying to get those points. Gail Satan cruising through. Maybe she'll score some points, maybe she won't. Let's see. And Blitz says, nope, not today. Moxie comes through to score some points. Gail Satan calls it up. Thank you. Oh my God. We have Cinco on the line, and An official timeout. Those are the longest 5 seconds ever. We have Dr. and Cinco on the line, with Cinco taking the lead on the inside. Sneaky, sneaky. Divide and Stumper being sent to the penalty box. And Webster doing a really good job of recycling Dr. to the back. Looks like the short shots have 2 in the box, and the Bad News Beaters have 1 in the box. Well, 2 altogether. Cinco coming in for an easy slice. Looking at the bench for instruction. And Slaughter sneaks and recycles to the back. Cinco coming in, making it look so easy. Slaughter gets sent to the penalty box for being naughty. And let's see if Cinco gets to score the last second points, and Cinco calls it off. We have the Angel City Shore Shots at 64 and the Arizona Bad News Beaters at 46. Very close game, folks. On the jam line right now, we have Monster, and at the top, once I read the number, I'll be able to tell you. It looks like it's Morph back out on the track. 2 really tough walls. And Slaughter coming out of the box. Let's see if this changes anything for the short shots. But it looks like it's not. Looks like Slaughter's just being sent to the naughty box again. A little bit of confusion out there. It looks like we have 3 blockers, short shot blockers in the box, 1 being sent out because the box is full. I don't make the rules. And the Beaters also have another blocker in the box. Morph coming through, both Morph and Monster fighting to get those points. Monster coming in with 1 foot skate on the outside line. We have YOLO and Blitz out on the track for the short shots. And Morph calls it off. And back on the line is Amelia Scarhart. On the line is Mustang Ali and Amelia Scarhart. And Mustang takes the lead, but Amelia coming through. Oh, Amelia gets sent to the box, which means it's a power jam for the Arizona Bad News Beaters. Short shots 2 on the track. Can they hold? Noodle coming in. And let's see if Ali can score these last points. Oh, beautiful offense by the Beaters. Makes it through easy on the inside. And Ali calls it off. And we have a timeout for the short shots. Short shots have 2 blockers in the box. Actually, a power jam, a blocker and a jammer. So it'll be a power jam for the Arizona Bad News Beaters. This game is a 5-point game, folks. As I said, anything can change in the last few seconds. But whatever happens in this jam, that's not going to be the end-all be-all because we have a full rest of the half and a second half to follow. And just a reminder, if you haven't checked out the concession stands, we have a lot of really good, yummy things out there, including vegan options. So if you haven't made your way out there, please do. All of that money goes to support our warehouse, which is self-operated, and we are a nonprofit. We also have a merch table, booth over there. If you haven't checked out the merch, it's really sweet. We have T-shirts, patches, kids apparel, stickers. And we also have a raffle. We're going to have the raffle during halftime. And I'll tell you more about that a little later. Want to give a shout out to our vendors in the vendor village, Rude Chicks, Voz Collective, Angel, Create Meow Repeat, and Rocky's Boutique. If you haven't checked them out, please go and check out their stuff out there. Some really cool stuff. It looks like we have Amelia Scarahard back out on the track, but Gail Satan makes her first pass through the pack. Amelia makes it easily on the inside. And Satan looking over for instruction, calls it off. And just to let you know, the raffle will be drawn at halftime, the halftime of our second game, which is pretty soon. $1 for 1 ticket, $5 you get 6 tickets, and $20 will get you the skater height. And you know there are a lot of tall skaters out here, so you can get a bang for your buck. On the line right now, we have Gigi Aline and number 7-3, Dr. Looks like they're both fighting hard in the scrum to get out. Gigi showing some fancy spins side to side. But Dr. sneaks back on the outside pass, divide and stomper, and rocks. And we have a new jammer for the short shots. Stomper wearing the hat. Beaters calling it off. And that's 4 points for the Arizona Bad News Beaters. And looks like Arizona Bad News Beaters has taken the lead, 73-66. We have some Desert Heat fans out there. And Morph back out on the track with and that was a beautiful hit on the inside by Goldie Knox. Lived up to her name. And the Bad News Beaters have some bad news with 2 blockers in the box right now. And KO doing a beautiful spin on the inside. Morph still fighting their way through the center. This really tough wall of Noodle, YOLO, and Webster. Very dramatic fall on the outside by Han YOLO. And it looks we have a new jammer on the outside. And folks, I just want to take a quick second to announce that today is Noodle's birthday. So if you get a chance, please wish them happy birthday. Feliz cumpleaños. Oh, we have Mustang Ali and Cinco out on the track. Mustang just plowing through with a little bit of help from Phoenix, but recycled to the back. Divide and Stomper with the rest of the wall, trying to see if they can keep Ali in the back. Ray providing some offense, some beautiful offense for Cinco. Let's see if Cinco can get out. Rock's holding up at the top. And we have Ali for the lead. Cinco still fighting her way. And Angel City Short Shots have a new jammer, Reign of Terror. Reign, by the way, played a full game earlier on, too. This wall holding it strong, calling it off. The score is staying 76-72. The Arizona Bad News Beaters have the lead. Got a few more minutes for that raffle ticket. I see a few really tall skaters, so hit them up, get their height, get those tickets. Looks we have Moxie on the line and Gail Satan. And Gail, relentless with those lead jams coming through. Moxie trying to power through the really strong Brewer wall. Incredibly, and calls it off. '76, 78, 70. Is there 4 minutes left in the game? Timeout called by Arizona Bad News Beaters. Now is a good time to go ahead and buy those tickets, last minute tickets. Maybe start getting in line for that merch, for that little bevy. Don't forget, we have a $150 value beauty pack with makeup, spa products, masks, soaks, and some other goodies. And we also have an ACD merch pack that's gonna be raffled off at halftime. That's t-shirts, stickers, a plushie, and more things. A plushie, so cute. All right, who's here to see the Arizona Bad News Beaters? That is a lot of fans out here, driving out here. Kudos. And we are back. We have Monster on the track. Monster on the track with Dr. Doctor. Oh, and I love this. Both of them struggling to get through these wild spins on the inside and outside, but Dr. Doctor says, it's me. I am the one that's gonna get through today. Monster coming up right behind. Dr. Doctor with the lead. Oh, rocks with the wild hit on the inside. Gets sent to the box. And that's 3 points for Angel City and 0 points for the Arizona Beaters. We have Scareheart and Morph on the track. Angel City has one blocker in the box. Both jammers fighting for Amelia, getting recycled to the back by Mujer Wonderlina. But Amelia makes it back out to get the lead. And it looks like we have a change of jammer with Goldie taking the hat. And tippy toe on the outside from Amelia. Let's see if the short shots can hold Goldie. And it looks like Goldie sneaks up on the inside. Amelia trying to get the last of the points. Both of these jammers are fighting hard to get every single point. Amelia calls it. Looking at the scoreboard for the last minute changes. And it looks like it's a 1-point game, folks, 80-81 with the Arizona Beaters taking the lead. Here's that we have an official review being called by Angel City Short Shots. While we're here, let's go ahead and sing Happy Birthday to Noodle while we're here. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Happy Happy birthday to you. With tissue in the nose. I got a lot of papers up here with me, but is there an after party tonight? Because I don't have those details. I'll find out for you at halftime. Yeah. Okay. And the Angel City Short Shots have lost their official review on a no pass, no penalty call. The call still stands. On the line, we have Gigi Aline, a beautiful spin, and also attempt. Gail Satan blocking, goes to the box. And the beaters jammer still in the back. Ali fighting through a double wall. It's just a tornado of blockers, but makes it out. Gigi Aline coming out really fast on the out and calls it off. And brings back the lead to the short shots. Some cute celebratory hugs on the track by Gigi and Webster. KO back on the track with Dr. Doctor. And KO is at the top, fighting a two-wall. We have both jammers out fast, with KO taking the lead. Let's see if he decides to risk it all right now. Oh, beautiful scoring. 4 points at the top for KO. 3 points. We have a few seconds left, so go ahead and grab those raffle tickets if you haven't. Cinco and Morph back on the track. I think they purposely are pairing them together, the little mini jammers. There's some offense on the top by Rocks. A scrum here. Cinco makes it out again. We have Slaughter in the back with Morph. Reign of Terror. It looks like it was a wall of terror there. Cinco trying to fight her way back through her first spin. Goes on cut track for Cinco, going to the penalty box. It was still pretty to watch. And we have a new jammer coming up here for the beaters. Number 10, Phoenix. Calling for her blockers to clear the way. She says, I want to score some points, make it easy. But this wall is not going to make it easy. Squeaks, Rocks, Rain, and Slaughter. They hold enough for Cinco to come back. Beautiful teamwork by that wall. We have the beaters at the top making it hard. Cinco making it through. And it looks like Phoenix makes it through, and Cinco coming by again. Cinco just wants some more points, just a few little more points, she says. And nobody can call it off right now, because when you go to the penalty box, you lose your lead. So you have to kind of stick it out for the rest of the jam. Same thing for the other jammer. In the short shots, there's a squeak to the box. And we are at halftime, folks. with the Angel City Short Shots at 97 and the Arizona Beaters at 89. This is a very, very close game, so come back in 15 minutes, but before that, please make sure that you've got a raffle ticket in hand because we're going to do the raffle right now. I got to give a shout out to the short shot coaches because they are always bringing it with the fits. Never fails. Folks, we're back in it for the second half. The score right now is Short Shots 97 and the Arizona Bad News Beaters at 89. This is a very, very close game, and it's been pretty close back and forth throughout the entire time. So we'll see how this second half goes. We'll see how the endurance is doing for some of these folks that have had really long days. And on the track, it looks like Gail Satan and Amelia Scarehart are back on. Also, if you lost a stud earring, it's sitting here at the top, a little shiny, sparkly thing. Oh, a little nice backpack attempt. Gail Satan trying to do it on the outside, but Scarehart still has the lead despite that spill at the top. I believe this is Gail Satan's first jam that she hasn't had lead. But let's see if they scored any points, and it's 1 point for the Bad News Beaters and 0 points for Angel City. 2 points for the Bad News Beaters. 2 points. On the line we have Ali and Gigi. And Gigi coming on the inside so fast and smooth. Ali fighting against the wall, trying to get out. And it looks like the Bad News Beaters have a new jammer. That's Sunny. Divide and Stomper, pivot for Angel City Short Shots, gets sent to the box. And Gigi Aline calls it off. A 10-point spread for this game. We have KO and Morph on the line. KO getting a little bit of offense from Goldie at the top. And very efficient because Morph is actually out of the... Goldie gets sent to the box. And KO is still on their first pass. With Phoenix and 2x4s. Angel City short shots with a new jammer. That's Divide and Stomper. Morph coming around for more points. As our Bad News Beaters says, keep it going. They want to score some more points, get some people out of the box perhaps, take advantage of this opportunity. It's called strategy, baby. Divide and Stomper struggling to get out. Let's see if she can get some help from her teammates. And jam gets called off. And the lead is closing in, or the Bad News Beaters are closing in. It's 98-105 or 106. 106 for the short shots. On the line, again, we have Cinco and Dr. Doctor. I think I've seen them paired a few times, and this time Dr. Doctor took the lead. And Cinco passes Mute Jammer, Reign of Terror, slides back. And Dr. Doctor calling it off just in time to avoid those points from the short shots. Back on the line, we have Gail, Satan, and Moxie for the Angel City short shots. And Yola with a really nice recycle on Gail Satan all the way at the top. But Gail just slides through on the outside, and Moxie trying to get the last of the pack, takes a little spill. And coming around, Moxie is out. Gail with a beautiful, it was a beautiful spin, but it was a cut, according to the officials. So Gail Satan gets called to the box. And now we have Moxie with the power jam. We have Slaughter at the top trying to provide offense. We have a very Renaissance picturesque moment. And it looks like it's Uno in reverse because Moxie was just sent to the box and Gail Satan is coming out for another power jam in favor of the Bad News Beaters. Gail Satan coming through once more. And the beaters have one more in the box. Very fast-paced jam. Everybody's racing, big hits. Moxie makes it out of the box. Getting through for 4 points. And folks, am I seeing this right? It's 109, 109. It's a tie right now. Oh, no, spoke too soon. 113 to 109. Monster quickly out of the box, to get lead jam. The Arizona beaters with 2 in the box, now 1 in the box. Monster coming in on the inside, so smooth, sneaking by. We have Ali taking a spill and trying to fight her way through. And Monster making her way back through. Mind you, Monster just had a full game earlier on. And some beautiful spins, beautiful footwork being displayed right now by Monster. And also the official on the outside. I don't know if you guys caught that. We have a new jammer, but the jam is called off in time. We have a timeout called by the Bad News Beaters. And this is when things start to get a little spicy. The clock is running out. It's 125, 109, so the score is still very, very close. It could be anyone's game at this point. A lot of changes being made. This is really when the coaches start strategizing and maybe making some changes in the line, putting in new faces or other faces, old faces, new faces. On the line, we have Gail Satan and Amelia Scarehart. Bad News Beaters with 1 in the box. And Gail Satan with the lead, but not too far behind is Amelia Scarehart. And Gail Satan calls it off for a full 4 points. We have Dr. and Gigi on the line. Bad News Beaters with still 1 in the box. We have Reign of Terror trying to provide offense for Gigi for a split second. And the same, Ali and another trying to provide offense for Doc in the back. Oh, officials call out of play, and Gigi gets released to get the lead. Meanwhile, Doc is still fighting their way through with. Now we have a new jammer, Sunny, taking the hat for the Brewers. Gigi calling it off. On the line right now, we have KO and Morph. Goldilocks trying to provide offense for Morph at the top. And we have KO in the back with a really strong wall, trying to speed up, but gets caught up with the Brewer wall. Morph is out to get for lead jammer. And we have YOLO taking the hat for a new jammer for Angel City. YOLO trying to fight against 2x4s and Mujer Wonderlina. Quickly, Morph coming up at the top, stopped by KO, Rain, and Noodle. YOLO is still trying to get through for the first pass. It looks like the Brewers have a full penalty box. YOLO with one blocker to fight, gets through. Oh, and we have a big hit on the outside, 1-0. Phoenix gets sent to the penalty box. And Goldilocks recycling, YOLO to the back. So have 13 seconds on the clock left in this jam. And the jam is called off. The score is 132 and 117. Might change in a few seconds if they update it, but the Angel City Short Shots still with the lead. Let's see if anything changes in the next few minutes. Oh, Cinco, beautiful tippy toes on the inside with a quick lead. And it looks like Ragin' Bajan is being sent to the box, and so is Gail saying, so this is, folks, is called a power jam. Noodle rocks, Blitz and Webster fighting against the Brewers. Cinco calls it out because they want to start in the power jam. This is part of the strategy, folks. And it looks like the bad news beaters have two in the box, including their pivot and a jammer. Angel City Short Shots are going to start with a power jam. Power jam means there's going to be one jammer only on the track. Timeout for the Short Shots. We're halfway through the second half. The score is 140 to 117. And let me tell you, 14 minutes with this spread, which is approximately 23 points, can easily be made up in one jam. Which is really good news for the bad news beaters. The short shots with a beautiful sweep on the outside for Moxie as they come around the track. Moxie coming in for their first pass. Being held back by Sunny. 2x4 and Goldie, a very strong wall. Looks like the bad news beaters put a really good fight there, making Moxie call it off. On the line right now we have Monster and Doc. The penalty box is clear, so full packs out on the track. Both skaters trying to fight packs, full packs. Monster driving out on the inside, gets through for lead jammer. Doc in the back with Noodle. Noodle and Webster putting up a really good fight back there with Blitz, with actually Squeaks in the back. And Doc is recycled by Webster. Mujer Wandolina and Sunspot putting a good fight, but Monster stays up on her skates and is able to score 4 more points. The Arizona Bad News Beaters with a new jammer, Phoenix. Monster with 4 more points coming around. Angel City Short Shots extending their lead by almost 30 points right now, with about 11 minutes left in the second half. Morph and Amelia Scarehart on the line. Amelia Scarehart, a little juke spin on the inside, gets the lead. And this is the first time we see Rage and Bajan taking the hat, but they are now the new jammer for the Bad News Beaters. Amelia calling it off. Gigi and Aline on the line. Beethoven trying to play offense for Ali, pushing the pack up. Gigi stuck in the back with 2x4s. Phoenix and Beethoven with some strong defense. And we have a Renaissance-style hat pass there to Yolo. Yolo's a new jammer for Angel City Short Shots. Gigi showcasing her blocker skills, puts a stop, and makes Ali call it. On the line, Gail Skaten and KO. Oh, it looked like we have some jammer defense there from KO on Gail Skaten, back and forth. And KO sprints on the inside. Very effective strategy. Gail tips toes on the outside, sneaks by for the first pass. KO fighting through, gets one last push by Rajan Bajan. On the line, we have Cinco and Morph once again. Morph has done a pretty good job of driving the pack all the way, but not before Webster recycles to the back. I feel like that's Webster's specialty. Squeak's trying to apply a little bit of offense for Cinco, but gets sent to the box. Cinco has one last person to beat, two people to beat, gets out and gets lead jam. The Bad News Beaters have two people, one person in the box. And we have a new jammer for the Beaters, that's Phoenix, number 10. Jam is called off. And the lead continues to widen with Angel City Short Shots at 162 and the Bad News Beaters at 124. Folks, if you haven't made your way back to the merch booth, please do so. There's some really cool stuff, stickers, t-shirts. We have Doc and Moxie on the line, both very heavy hitters. Moxie making their way through. Solid tripod in the back, holding Doc, the Reign of Terror, Slaughter and Rocks, holding Doc in the back. But they passed the hat. They've had a pretty much very successful passes. This one to Sunny. Look, Moxie calls it off just in time. On the line, Monster and Gail Satan coming up. The penalty box is empty, which means it's two full packs out there. Right off the bat, driving force. Monster sneaks out on the inside. Noodle trying to hold But Gail Satan sneaks on the inside as well to get out, follow through. Let's see if Monster can score some points before Gail Satan comes enough. And we have 2-2, folks. Morph and Amelia Scarehound on the line. Amelia sneaking out on the outside for lead jammer. Morph trying to get through the end, but is battling against rocks for one last. In comes Divide and Stomper. Conquering the line, recycling Morph back. Amelia fighting to get out for those last points, but it's recycled yet again with a big hit. Amelia coming through for those quick 4 points and calls it off. Folks, give it up to both teams, the short shots and the bad news beaters. Let's hear it for them. Thank you. Gigi, Aline, and Ali in the line. Both of them with a running start in a scrum. Let's see who makes it through. Ragin Bajan putting up a good fight against Aline with Goldilocks. Morph. Big spill on the inside, doggy pile. And it looks like Gigi is the lead jammer. Angel City Wall, Yola Webster, and Noodle holding on Ali. And beaters have a new jammer, Goldie, coming through. And again, Angel City pulls through those 4 points at the last second before calling it off. We have a little bit over 2 minutes left, folks. 2 minutes. KO versus Gail Satan on the line. Looks like Angel City was trying to provide offense, but Gail Satan, beautiful spin on the inside, gets the lead jammer. KO being recycled in the back, trying to pass the hat. And Gail Satan spins. Again, Gail Satan gets sent to the box. This is a power jam for Angel City Short Shots. KO coming through with a beautiful backward spin. Oh, that offense. A little bean dip from KO on the outside, scores 4 more points. Gail Satan back on the track, recycled on the outside. Facing Divide and Stomper, slaughter of Rocks and Rain. But sneaks in through, one person to beat. Amazing footwork on the inside. KO coming in. slowing down a bit, trying to buy time off the clocks. And Satan coming by. I don't know how many spins was that, but I'm dizzy. A few seconds left on this jam, folks. Is this going to be the last jam, or let's see. No, it looks like we might have one more. Folks, give it up for these two jammers. A really long jam, KO and Gail Satan. We have a couple seconds left on the clock. Not sure if we're going to do another one or if this is the end. It depends. Do they want to go to Uncle Ollie's now or in a couple minutes? And that, folks, is our game. Is that the final score or not yet? Angel City short shots. Is that official? Obviously. And we have winners, Angel City short shots. Thank you so much to Arizona Bad News Beaters for putting up a really, really tough fight tonight. Make sure you pick your MVPs of the night before you head out. And remember, Uncle Ollie's tonight. Come and hang out. Both teams welcomed over here by the Angel City sign so you can take a picture after the handshakes. Thanks everyone for joining. You ain't got to go home, but you can't stay here.